Bonsoir, babous. C'est jeudi à soir. Ooh, it's Thirsty Thursday. It's time for our Romance Oracle Angel reading for the week, where we take a look at I'm just making sure I didn't drop more cards. We take a look at the week ahead and see what is going on in our love lives. What do we need to know? How can we open up into our potential or overcome our self-defeating tendencies and shortcomings? So it'll be interesting what the message is tonight, because this week I feel that we have been tempted into maybe comparison, feeling fearful, triggered, tempted into, lack, doubt, scarcity mindsets. Insecurities have been coming up. Old patterning, old conditioning, limiting beliefs. So yeah, you may have felt like over the past couple of weeks, you may have been on quite a wild ride, or you may have been watching things play out and realizing that they would have triggered you so much more in the past, but maybe you're starting to witness like the new self that is in the state of becoming. And so, we're being kind of initiated into our transformation little by little. And so I think that this week has been all about taking a step back to pause and witness where our default settings are kind of like pushing us to go to, the reactive parts of ourselves. And then that way you can see, okay, what is the old pattern? What is the thing you're trying to break? And so while it's uncomfortable, it is a great opportunity. So let's just see what the cards are. Getting to know each other and heart-to-heart conversations came out first. So one of the other things that has been coming up, not just in our love readings, but generally in our ongoing like soul growth readings on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is it's been about like a slow step-by-step progression towards our manifestations, our goals, even this like new life that we're creating for ourselves, this new timeline jump. It's like, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't move forward too quickly. Don't skip any steps. Just take it little by little by little. And make sure that there's room to breathe, that there's a lot of breathing room and space during this beginning, this becoming. So it's not a surprise to me that the cards are suggesting it's like, hey, get to know each other, have heart-to-heart conversations. So just separately, the cards, they say, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And the follow-up card is heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. Now, one of the things that I know I have been working with and we have been talking about on this channel is showing up authentically rather than putting on airs or leading, within any relationship, within any interaction, but particularly within dating. I feel like the common advice by society is it's like ego driven. It sets you up for an ego battle. It's like, here, let me give you a bunch of ego rooted ways to project entitlement onto someone and manipulate them into the result that you would like. And so many of those coaches they have great advice. They're well-meaning. Some of them aren't. Some of them are manipulative. Some of them are toxic. But no matter what, the thing that's happening here is that you're following a regimen in an indiscriminate way to get what you want. And you might get what you want, but you might be sorry that you got it. Because several years ago, I, thought that I was going to I don't know, be more practical and not be so worried about finding the soulmate, but just being more realistic, 2 feet on the ground, following dating advice, feeling like I made like a good sound option and going through the steps to execute. And I did, and it worked. And I had a nice boyfriend. We had a live-in relationship for 5 years. And until it like all came tumbling down because I never felt like he was a soulmate. He felt like a stranger. We did have work to do together and there was a purpose for our relationship. But ultimately, like, I got something that had I been more discerning and followed my heart and been authentic instead of taking outside advice that seemed more like I didn't validate my own intentions and instincts and intuition. I was looking outside of myself thinking that the world knew better and I had been doing it wrong. And so it's not that that's not true. It's like some of the insights have been high value and worth taking away. But now I've realized that it's not always in your best interests to win every time you cast your little fishing pole out there. You know what I mean? So while those tactics might work, they don't give you or that other person an authentic representation of who you really are, what you really like, and what you really want. So I would say that if you are approaching your life from a new way, to use high self-worth and wisdom and discernment, and don't completely discount the rules of attraction and dating. However, at the end of the day, let yourself be rooted from a place of authenticity. Be your true self. Don't try to manipulate. Don't try to play games. Don't try to even get a result. Just get to know people and be authentic and real. And, don't act like someone else does to get what they try to get, right? Like, for instance, a lot of the behavior that they suggest to women is to get a certain type of relationship or the type of man that wants that relationship too. Well, if I'm a wildflower, I don't need to go about the same methods to get what a tulip needs or what a tulip wants. I'm not a tulip, right? So it's like, be your real self. It's not to say, like, don't throw all your drama on the table. Don't, put a bunch of pressure on someone to make them feel like it's all on them. But it's like, just be accurate, be natural. Don't overthink everything. Don't strategize every answer or how much time you're going to spend before you just stop overthinking everything, right? Don't go at it from a place of how can I have the power in the situation? Because most of these tactics are simply it just sets you up for a power of battle and a power struggle, essentially. Because if you're fighting for power, then if you are in that battle, then the other side of that coin is that you're in a power struggle, right? So don't start an ego war. Start getting to know someone. Have heart-to-heart discussions, right? Be who you are, be real to yourself, and then you'll attract someone who's in authentic alignment with that. And you will repel someone who's not. And you'll save a lot of time. You won't waste 5 years on someone who ultimately is just never going to work out anyway. Okay, well, I dropped the deck, but soulmate threw itself out. Calling in your soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. something is worth waiting for. So there might be like a slow progression, right? Or, maybe it's just like, so funny. My Kabbalah class that I'm taking right now, it's a 6-week preparation for Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is basically the birthday of all mankind in mythology, in Hebrew, myth. Adam Kadmon, the souls of all man, were born in September. We are all Libras at a soul level. And so the lesson of Adam and Eve, as depicted in the Bible, like if you go more in depth into the Hebrew commentary, what's really going on is that Adam and Eve, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, came into union before Shabbat, before the completion, right? So as that would pertain to man and woman or literal 3D material relationships, Adam and Eve had sex too early, like 6 hours before they were fully cooked. So they came into union too soon. So the lesson in this is the point that my teacher David was making, or that he went on to make, was that sometimes even something that's destined to happen and it's the right thing, is the wrong thing if it happens at the wrong time. The timing has to be right. It's just like grapes, right? For wine making or even just for eating. If you pull a grape off the vine too soon, it's going to be bitter. It's not going to yield. Like you might have fruit there, but the fruit won't be fulfilling. So timing is involved, and process when it comes to the fulfillment of meeting a soulmate, right? And even if the feelings are there, it's like it has to be the right time. So there is, you might be meeting your soulmate soon, or a soulmate. We don't just have one. People, that are significant, seasons of our lives, they have different durations and different roles. Some people are business partners, people are friends, people are lovers, people are family members, right? But in this case, we're talking about romantic relationships. So this moment right now is serving to prepare the soul for the soulmate. And so to prepare yourself, you become the person that you want to draw in. And then when that person does come along, and as you're meeting people and as you are going out into the world, live from a heart-centered place, be authentic, get to know people, or get to know this person slowly and honestly and truthfully and, authentically. Be confident that maybe, the feelings are valid and they're reciprocated, even if it's, unfolding in a very gradual way. But, keep it light and flirty and, extend your lighthearted energy. Don't make it so serious, don't put a lot of heaviness and weight on the whole thing. Feel the lightness and certainty that whatever's meant to be is going to be, and it's going to play out, and you're not going to ruin it. Like what's really, really, really meant for you, it's like it won't pass you by. And what's not meant for you, you'll always have to try to force it in a place, and it's not going to work. So I've learned to start really relaxing into that truth. And I mean, even in the midst of having feelings and things like that, it's just like you have them and you're like, okay, well, if this person's going to work out, then it's going to work out. And I'm going to show up and I'm going to be authentic and I'm going to do my best. And if it's not meant to be, then it's not going to work out. And the other soulmate or the real Slim Shady will show up or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, having certainty in the Creator, it loosens the whole thing up and it lightens everything up, because that surrender, that trust, it relaxes the vibration and it creates more affinity with the light. The light, in order to vibrate and cosmically resonate with the light of the Creator, we have to have affinity with that, right? Like attracts like. The Creator is not neurotic. The Creator is not insecure. The Creator is not jealous or second guessing or self-doubting. The Creator is not complicated. The Creator is not in a situationship, right? The Creator is just unconditional, eternal, in the now, not future tripping in neuroses, not, you know, obsessing over the past and like locked down in despair and in like, you know, misery. Another part of the lesson that I think was very important, the Kabbalah lesson, was that, so the opponent is always going to be coming at us. Every time we're doing good, it's like the opponent is right around the corner to try to smack us down. Because once we are in the on the spiritual path, it's like the game is activated. And we are like Mario going through each level. And every few minutes, we're going to be faced with some sort of like little representation of the opponent, whether it's the little, you know, the little mushrooms we got to bounce on, or the little, you know, flying little dragon thing coming, or whether we're going to fall off of the wooden blocks that are floating in the air. There's always obstacles, and there's always an opponent coming at us. So there's, just like there is masculine and feminine within each of us, and then there is a divine masculine or feminine counterpart that we meet. And that's not gender. It's like, it's soul and energy related more so than it is a physical gender kind of thing. And so same with the opponent. There is a masculine Satan and a feminine Satan. The masculine Satan shows up and tries to set the initial booby trap to tempt us into reactivity through fear, temptation, lust, lack, doubt, mistrust, confusion, whatever it is. We kind of fall into that initial mistake or that trap. And so how we handle that from there will determine on whether our sparks of light in this situation are going to be revealed for the side of the light, or if they're going to be concealed in the shell of negativity, and process has to be gone through in order to break that shell open again, in order for the transmutation to happen, which means it's like you have to go through another lesson or another experience of cleansing or correction or judgment. So once you have been ensnared in the booby trap and you have done a boo-boo or messed up or made a mistake, the real test then is when the female Satan comes along. And what she does is tries to steal all of that light for the side of the dark by making you feel despair, shame, guilt, destitute, hopeless. Once you've lost hope, that's when the sparks of light are taken into that shell of negativity. And then you have to go through a process again to transmute that. However, if you don't let it get you down and you bounce back and you're like, you know what? This was an honest mistake. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to make good on it. And I'm going to do what I can to turn this around and find redemption. I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to forgive others in the situation. I'm going to clean up this mess, whatever, but I'm not going to feel shame. I'm not going to let it set me back, and I'm not going to let it knock me down forever. I'm not going to lose hope. That's when you get like your energy that you put into that situation, even if that thing doesn't work out, it goes into the next thing, right? So that all of your, like, for instance, you know, past relationships that haven't worked out, I've been hopeful. I've maintained my vision of love. And so I know that that's still possible. I'm not going to give up on myself, just settle for some warm body or whatever, or give up completely. I'm still looking, I'm still searching for that equal. And so because I haven't given up on myself, that energy is then transferred, you know, it's like in a spiritual bank account waiting, you know, for the next opportunity. So just keep those things in mind. I'm going to pull a couple of cards from the Tarot of the Psychic Heart by John Holland. This particular tarot deck is sort of like relationship oriented, or it's like emotional realm oriented. So I thought that would be a good tarot deck for us to use today. So let's get more insight into getting to know each other. Let's pull a card on that. What do we need to know about getting to know each other? Simply love. So this is Six of Cups. Six of Cups is about there's nostalgia about it. There is an innocence, like a childhood innocence in the situation. So it's like, yeah, just simply get to know each other. Don't, rush in too deep, too quick or anything like that, or put too much pressure, or filled too many hangups, or, just simply love. This can also, Six of Cups is also about an apology, or, someone coming back around, or, someone from even like early childhood that you'd known from the past or past life, but just for simplicity's sake, Six of Cups also has to do with like not looking back on things as worse than they were or better than they were. So I think it's like authentically show up in the moment. Don't look at someone's potential. Don't look at their past. Just be in the now, getting to know someone as they are in this moment. Yes. Okay. Heart-to-heart conversations. What do we need to know about our communication? Ooh. Just breathe. So Four of Swords. So this is probably the Four of Swords is healing. It's about the self-loving, learning to love the self, healing, meditation, working on your spiritual practice, getting your mindset right. So it's like there could be, and this goes back into actually our midweek reading about embracing the value of being separated from the fulfillment of your manifestation, that it's serving to prepare you. So there is personal development happening right now, transformation, self-love, stillness, tuning into source, working on that relationship with self and with source to get that strong, to be a healthy, interdependent version of yourself, and start healing and building up, boundaries that will help you to heal from emotional enmeshment and those patterns and those that conditioning that so many of us have had from childhood. So many parents have these enmeshed relationships with their kids, and they don't realize, and they don't know what that is, and they're not aware of it, especially back over the last couple of decades. It's only been in recent years that people have really started to become aware of this kind of popular psychology and things. It hasn't always been readily available to the public. So we're only just now kind of learning oh wow, those relationship dynamics that we learned growing up were just that we were told were healthy dynamics actually weren't, right? And so a lot of us are trying to recontextualize what are healthy relationships, what are healthy, family structures, and dynamics and things like that. So we're all healing. We're all on a codependency spectrum. And so, yeah, right now it's take it slow, get to know one another, start with good basics, and get to know someone as a friend as you grow romantically, but taking it slow, pacing it out. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other and healing. And so it's staying honest and upfront. If there are different people that you're seeing, or just one person that you're taking it slow and getting to know, being on the up and ups about your process and communicating about it. so many times, in dating, it's like when I'm watching, dating videos and relationship videos, like I'm just a nerd about all self-help and interrelational dynamics and all of these things. And so it's like people's biggest complaints come from, I think, just not enough communication. We're so neurotic because we're wondering like what's going on with the other person, and most of the time no one's talking, or they don't know how to, or no one knows if anybody should say something, or if they can ask or whatever. And it's like, think about how differently something would go if there was just more candid communication from the beginning. Like, it would make a world of difference, I'm sure. And so it's like, as we're going forward as new people in a new timeline, in a new life, like approaching relationships differently, imagine a world where we maybe just honestly communicated, about our healing and where we were at, and, those sorts of intentions and the process, right? Okay, what about soulmate? What do we need to know about this soulmate? Coming together. Okay, this is a fairly straightforward reading, guys. This is Two of Cups. This is a deepening of bonds. This is, the beginning of a relationship, or a pair who see eye to eye. That it could have a lot of potential. Now, this can talk about new friends, new friendships with real kindred spirits that have long-term value. But this particularly, we're sitting here talking about our romantic relationships. So if you meet someone and things start going in this direction, and you keep it authentic, and you communicate, and you take it slow, and you continue to work on the healing, and you prioritize that, right? That's how you can pace it. It's like, prioritize yourself and your healing and your goals and your dreams, and slowly allow this person into these things. But there's a real possibility for a pairing, right? A good match to come together. Okay, let's have a card on romantic feelings. Your romantic feelings are valid and worth exploring. What the fuck did I just say, people? Strengthening bonds. Did I just say the word deepening bonds? Oh, maybe what I meant was strengthening bonds. This is Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is passion, desire. So yes, as far as the romantic feelings concerned, it's like, does this person return the feelings? Well, if the Ace of Wands tells you anything, yes it does. Ace of Wands is like a big stick, you guys. You know what I'm talking about? Like, very on the up and ups, if you get what I'm saying. Eggplant emoji. Yes, they return the feelings. The feeling is mutual. There's mutual chemistry here. Yes, and so there's potential for this thing to really come together. If you're wondering if their feelings are returned, it's like, yes. Okay, so just don't freak out. Don't get neurotic. Or the potential for someone to return the feelings is strong. It's like, just have certainty and confidence that the feelings are mutual. If they're expressing that they are. If someone is like not returning the feeling, and you're projecting this on someone, and you're like, maybe I'm just imagining this, then maybe you are. But if this is a situation where it's like the person seems to be reciprocating evenly, and that's another thing that I kept wanting to say about the where was it? Oh yeah, the Six of Cups. It's not usually the Six of Pentacles is the equal reciprocation, the equal give and take. But for some reason, I just wanted to bring it up when we had this card out, and I didn't. But if this is reciprocal, and there are just things that are still up in the air, right? Just relax and see how it goes, right? All you can do is take a chance and see. So take it slow. Don't get neurotic. Be authentic. Have confidence and certainty that, you know, if you just let things unfold and show up and be yourself, try not to sabotage it, but the bonds will strengthen. Okay. Worth waiting for. Okay, what do we need to know about worth waiting for? If we can get any hints on like the nature of this, or no, that was not a flip. Okay, what is going to help the timing, or what is going to help us prepare while we wait for this timing? Divine timing, worth waiting for. Okay, what's this? Okay, so awesome. So divine timing. So 5 of Swords came up, which is win or lose. And this is about conflicting, like a conflict of like agendas, or like being too forceful about pushing your desire or your goals at all cost. So this is a card saying, chill, this is worth waiting for. Like, don't get so hung up on like when and how and exactly like what you want that you fuck it up for yourself. Essentially, it's like, just relax. Like, don't force your will at all costs. Take your own personal ego agenda and your timeline out of this, because that is going to be the thing that sabotages the situation. If you're pushy, if you're forceful, if your ego agenda is butting up against the highest good for all. So don't make it a win or lose situation. You know, if you want a partner, your whole life is going to be about negotiating and compromising and finding ways to have like compatible needs. Like it's not that your needs are always going to be compatible, but you're gonna be working as a partnership, as a team. And so it's vital that you have compassion for both your needs and theirs, and to have a big big picture view of, in the long run, you know, like when you look at a long-term situation and the depth of a commitment, you know, and like where you're at in that commitment, you know, or not, where are people's needs, right? And what are you willing to invest at this point, at this current juncture? But if this is something that is, it's like this says divine timing is at work in your love life, this is worth waiting for. It's like, it's worth waiting for. And so just bear in mind not to be impatient or pushy. Be high value, you know, don't lower your self-worth, don't compromise yourself, but find a way, like decide which battles and hills are worth dying on, you know, look at the grand scheme and the big picture, right? Before you let your own personal desires sabotage the long-term value and fulfillment that will really, like, don't let your body consciousness and small self short circuit now and reach for instant satisfaction and gratification at the cost of long-term fulfillment and value. Okay, does that make sense? Like, something can be better if you don't push too far, too fast, too hard. Joy and stability. So what suit is the purple? I feel like it's, okay, I think this is actually Four of Wands. Yes, it is. Okay, so Four of Wands. This is joy and stability, harmony. This is like a stable, long-term, like high value, fulfilling relationship. In the traditional tarot, it is it's the marriage card. It's a card of harmony, bliss, joyful vibrations, stability, a time of like prosperity and good fortune is upon you. So all of this is worth waiting for. You can have a very, very fulfilling future. 4/19 is my birthday. Oh my God. So 19 is the Sun card. The Sun card is the major arcana card. That is the big resounding yes in the tarot. It means that joyous conclusions have come about, that whatever you've set out for, like you're going to fulfill your goals, your wishes are coming about. Like this is about mental, emotional, and spiritual renewal. It's about brand new starts, abundance, fertility, all good things. So, I mean, it's like, hey, get your ego out of the way, because what is coming is going to be stable, fulfilling, harmonious, wonderful, literally life-changing. You know, the major arcana cards talk about the huge archetypal things in our lives, not just the day-to-day in and outs or like the conditions of whatever. These are major life changes. So yeah, big energy coming in, but it's about how we approach our love life. We can create great love if, like, say that we're using the same person as an example. If we show up from a place of authenticity, from a place of heart-centeredness, and with divine order and timing behind us, that could produce more authenticity, more truth, more beauty, more love. If we show up with that same person with a fear that time is running out, I need to push this is disrespecting me, this person isn't valuing me, if they don't see my value right off the bat and they're not instantly ready, this is I want this, I want it to look this way, I only want this if this, I want this as long as I get it this way, the way I want it. I don't want to be full in. I want to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but I want them to be full in. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be in alignment, right? So don't have all of this conflict. Get that ego aside. Prepare yourself with a pure intention, pure heart, because good things can happen, right? But yeah, if you go after even that same person that could be your soulmate who's meant for you with agenda, manipulation, expectation, projection, pressure to deliver, that's not going to be a seed level that's going to start a productive, fruitful, beautiful relationship. It's going to be based on triggers and, oh, well, I followed these methods and I got these results, but it's not going to be heartfelt. It's not going to be heart-centered. And then a few months or a couple of years down the line, that person is going to feel the wobble of that dissonance, even if it's not in the beginning, even if it works right away, it's not, it can't sustain, not that way. So remember, whatever we start, we're starting from the seed level of the consciousness that we're in when it begins. And so that's why you want to be heart-centered, authentic, speaking from the heart, vulnerable, honest, right? It's not to say that you have to put everything out there all at once. It's just that you're not putting up a facade. You're not lying about what you want. You're not being coercive, and you're being very careful about the way that you inspire someone to interact with you, right? Because so many flirting tactics are really just bait, and they're really manipulative. And when you start to consider that, it requires you to finesse your ability to attract and flirt, and it becomes kind of a whole nother level in an art form, because you're not just throwing cheap tricks out there to trick someone into liking you. You got to do it the real way. So, all right, you guys, I wish you luck out there. I do. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, just watch for your ego triggers to come up this week, and pretend that everything's gonna work out, and see how that makes you feel, and maybe you can relax and not fall into your old default settings or limiting beliefs or old patterns, because we all have them. No one gets out clean and clear. Everyone's got them. It's part of our assigned rent to pay in life on earth. So don't beat yourself up. All right, y'all. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, by the way, my video from yesterday from our midweek reading is still uploading. So I know I said something about going back and watching it earlier. I've recorded it. It's still uploading to YouTube. So this video might literally be up before that one is. All right. I will see y'all later. Ciao.